Welcome, Dr. Jason Dean, Brave TV, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge, posts November 5th. Well,
what's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? Oh my goodness, there is a joy
today.
in the air.
Yeah, different spirits as when we left last night because I didn't think they were going to call it.
Neither did I.
And then once Pennsylvania was called, I couldn't go to sleep. I stayed up till, I don't know, 2:30. Trump started speaking and I passed out. I literally waited for him to come to the stage and I passed out. And I'm loving every second of it. I said I'm going to take the 24 hours to literally celebrate. I don't care. Not to say that I'm not working, but I'm none of this oh, but this could happen still or whatever.
No,
none of that. Today's pure celebration. I'm laughing hysterical because on X, on Facebook, all these people are like, oh, this can't be right. Kamala had raised over $1 billion and she was winning in this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all media lies. The media clearly
all media
listen
to you. All media lies.
Well, yeah, it's all of the media lies. The fact that, one of the lies was, she had more people at her rallies. According to the media.
Whoopi is now saying that he won because he was on television more.
Okay. For 30 seconds, according to
I don't comprehend these people. Nicolette, I don't want to silence all of the other side. I have no desire to do that because I believe that you should have a back and forth conversation. But can I just state, we need to see people go to jail because these people are insufferable. I don't want. Does it do anything for our country for a Whoopi Goldberg to be on television every day, bitching and complaining that she wasn't on TV enough? They didn't get to understand who she was better. It wasn't fast. It wasn't enough time, and he was on TV. She doesn't go to jail for that. But we can't have this.
Right. I mean, there has to be something done. I don't know why The View and the fact that tons of conservatives are like, oh, I want to watch their meltdown. Please don't give them the fucking ratings. I swear to God.
But it's a great ratings pop for one day. I want to see. I want their producers to see the ratings pop and then plummet the next day because no one cares anymore.
So let me break down just a few things. One, Michigan is fantastic in the worst/best way. As results are coming in, people literally, we're still counting, guys. Michigan hasn't been called. It's been leaning Trump for hours, the whole time, pretty much. Michigan hasn't been called, but I would like to remind all of the liberals out there, and I will say this, and you can clip it and run with it. Gretchen Whitmer months ago signed a bill that you guys cannot ask for a recount on an accusation of fraud. It is illegal for you to contest the election in Michigan. So have fun with that. Government overreach is a bitch. I don't know what to tell you. Reap what you sow, I guess. You cannot contest this election in Michigan. Because so many are like, oh, can only they call for recounts? Guess what? We didn't get half the recounts we asked for. So there's that.
Didn't you say Detroit was Wayne County?
Yeah, it changed.
They finally went blue.
Yeah. But we're winning despite not winning Wayne County. And that's big. Well, and part of that is 20 million votes just vanished. The biggest election that it seemed to have the biggest turnout, most early voting, and 20 million votes just vanished out of thin air. Where did those voters go? Did they just not show up?
Right here.
I don't think so.
How crazy is this? I mean, honestly, how crazy is that?
Yep.
That's so insane. Okay, this you know what this tells me right here? This tells me
2020
that
still gonna be
2020
looked
is
at.
going to be exposed
Yep.
because right there, like that
Yeah.
is that
They're
like
like,
we're gonna
where did all those voters go?
the Supreme Court is going to actually have to deal with this.
Absolutely.
And then you take away those. Look at how much Trump had in 2020.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I'm loving it. And another thing, no civil liberties or rights were lost in the election. Once again, the media lied to you. If you pay attention to the Constitution, as I do, the states actually can make their own laws, like they do on abortion.
You don't
So
say.
whatever your current law is on abortion still remains the same despite the election outcome last night. So if you're in a place that is against abortion, that's on you because you didn't vote hard enough, push hard enough for your stuff. But as far as Michigan, yeah, still got free reign. I have so many people that are coming and like nasty messages behind the scenes. I actually got a few of them, not from like viewers, but whatever, saying stuff like, "I'll pray for you and your daughter's health." Okay, thank you. Um, we're perfectly healthy, and I don't understand, and I'll never understand this. It's just one of those mentality things. Why would I ever one single issue voting? Never going to happen because I like to look at broad spectrum of things. But two, why would I ever hope that one day, if my daughter conceives a child, she will have the right to abort it? That's my grandchild.
Are you trying to rationalize them?
I just,
You know what the best part
my
about this is? You know what the best part about this is? Other than the liberal tears, which I'm actually enjoying the meltdowns because they're just nuts, right? They act like we won today. Now let me give you perspective on this. I didn't win last night because of Donald Trump. You didn't win. Yeah, I'm enjoying the victory this morning, but this is what they think that we're just like we're following the cult leader Donald Trump. But here's the kicker. I'm taking the win. I'll enjoy it for a little bit. We'll go into maybe inauguration, who knows. But the actual interesting part about this is I really know that not only do we have presidency, we also know that our head is always on a swivel with the presidency, and we don't trust Donald Trump 100%, meaning we are appreciative of him being there, but he's on the clock now. Also, we have the House, we have the Senate and Supreme Court, meaning for the next 4 years, basically, like it's free reign, which means I'm actually watching it even closer now saying, okay, there were things promised. There's things we want done. If you don't get this done, like I'm not going to a Democrat, but we might have to just implode this entire system. But they think that we're just all in like Donald Trump land right now. And in reality, no, I think Americans are just happy to be Americans today. And yes, he is the leader we wanted for this spot, but he is also on the clock.
Yeah, I made some great posts over the last few hours.
Are you bragging about your posts?
Yeah, brag on my posts. My posts are fucking fantastic. But as I said to, I made one that says, to my left-leaning friends and family, I promise things will be okay. We voted for cleaner foods and better medication regulations for your kids. We voted for us all to say what we want and feel. We voted to raise America up. It's been so bleak and struggling with our infrastructure. We voted to end wars and make peace deals. We voted so you can keep more of your paycheck and not struggle so hard with bills, groceries, and gas. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we promise to hold them to all of that. The best is yet to come because that really is its accountability. We're going to hold them to that. There no more excuses of, oh, our hands are tied. Oh, they spent
Right.
the entire 4 years doing impeachment trials. Guess what, guys? Even if Trump gets sentenced to Rikers, he can still remain president, and we don't have a Senate and House that's going to impeach him over it.
Um, I I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do liberals, especially these woke ones, why do they? How I don't understand. They've never had a hard day in their life, but they think that they're now going to be prosecuted for being black, gay, trans, bi. I'm not following their logic. I'm not trying to follow their logic, but
The media lied to them.
they actually think that they think that Trump voters
2020.
I really feel I actually feel bad for many of them.
Yeah. Well,
No one's gonna come and do anything to you because we wouldn't allow it to happen.
My friend this morning, he was on the live yesterday, and I will say this: he was the one that I got the concerning message last night. He messaged me this morning. He goes, I'm trying to figure out how to respond to this Facebook post, because he kind of posted one just of how happy he is and how he would have loved if his dad saw this comeback, and he would have been so proud of this whole Trump movement or whatever. And somebody commented on it and said, if you had a daughter, he has 2 sons. He goes, if you had a daughter, you'd feel differently. He goes, I don't know how to respond to it. I said, don't. I said, there's something to be said for my people will perish for lack of knowledge. The fact that they don't even understand that that right was not taken, it's just stupid. They're stupid. And I will say that because the amount of disinformation that they're still consuming on a regular basis and believing, you really, Trump had how many rallies?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Right. In the hundreds. He had
Talk about
hundreds
hustle
of
and work
rallies
ethic.
with anywhere between 10 to, we'll say 50,000 people at each and every single one of them. Doesn't matter if he was in Michigan 3 days prior, 20,000 at the next, 30,000 at the other one. Doesn't matter. You believe that Kamala had more people at her rallies when she had celebrity concerts being hosted, and you thought that they were all there for Kamala? Get real. That's just basis. I just can't. That's uncomprehensible how much of an idiot you have to be to believe that she had the numbers. And I wrote a message and made a post to Whitmer, Jocelyn Benson, and Dana Nessel here in Michigan. I said, you guys don't understand it. You're the problem. You vote for these politicians.
They understand it. They're not stupid.
Well, yeah. I mean, evil is evil. But I hope that more people see it now. And just as Dave Portnoy put out, not only did you not give them a good, strong candidate, because it's not about the fact that she's a woman. She's just fucking stupid woman who is unequipped to be president. But on top of that, you alienated so much of your base. You went against Catholics. You went against Muslims. You went against Somalians. You went against all the people that actually did come here legally that normally do vote Democrat and like the government handouts. You left your people for dead with inflation, did nothing about it, told them that they're fine despite them not even be able to buy a box of fucking cereal. That's why you lost the election. It's not because, oh, Trump has this many people or we hate women. No, you told people that their eyes were lying to them.
Mm-hmm.
You called them Nazis. Not to mention, you tried to fucking kill the dude.
That's how they operate. Removing agencies.
Yep.
Man.
Our government's about to get a whole lot smaller, and I am so here for it. I'm ecstatic today. There's nothing, my husband asks me every morning because I sometimes get overwhelmed in the morning, whether it's getting the kids up and there's always the like hustle and bustle of every morning where kids are hungry or they just got up. Andrea needs her diaper changed, but the dog's whining to go outside, and he always texts me and is like, "How are things going this morning?" And I said, "Nothing, nothing can make me down today. It can't.
Nothing.
Nope. You could do that nuclear missile test, have a slip up, and nuke part of the country, and I still would sit here and be like, Trump will fix it.
What is wrong with Katie Couric? She looks like a man now.
Maybe she was always a man. Maybe she no longer can get her drugs.
These people, I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. It's funny. I just don't get it. It's not.
The thing to me is that if this guy does end up winning again, all of the people who voted for him will be like happy and they'll just be celebrating. And everyone who feels threatened by him is fucking scared. Like we're scared for our lives. We're scared for our friends. Like you have pro-life women dying because their doctors are scared to treat them because of the repercussions of his last presidency. How did we get here? How did we get here? To know that there is that much ignorance and that much hate in this country, it's so terrifying. It's so terrifying.
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
So much. There's that much ignorance and that much hate. She hates the fact that she thinks she can't kill babies anymore. And let's just summarize it like once again I did in one of my posts. Isn't it funny how the party of Nazis is pro-life? That's such a weird relationship. I can't imagine why Nazis would be pro-life. Aren't we supposed to be like killing people by the thousands?
These people, they're shaking. They're shaking. They're oh my God. Oh.
I think my favorite meme, and I just dislike him this much, is taking the lady man dude, whatever the heck it was from 2016 that was like on her knees in the green jacket. They took that picture and put Mark Cuban's face on it. I posted in the mod group earlier. It's funny.
Oh my God.
It's just, it's so crazy how black and white, so many things, she said ignorance and, in a way, and this is going to sound really wrong because in a way they feel like they're voting to do the right thing. They think that trans kids commit suicide at an astronomical number. They think that tons of women are dying from coat hanger abortions thanks to the Roe versus Wade stuff happening, or even just miscarriages. Like they have good intentions trying to save people, but it just doesn't come across as that because they are ignorant to the statistics and what actually happens. Like the argument, oh, well, you better hope it doesn't happen to your daughter. My daughter has a better chance, a higher chance, not better, a higher chance of being trafficked than she does of being raped and conceiving a child. What's a more pressing issue to me at that rate? She has a better chance of getting vaccine or medically injured because of the lobbying that goes on with big pharma, and that without the checks and balances, that's a more pressing issue for me right now.
These people really, really hate America. like really
Yeah,
hate.
yeah.
They despise they
Now the top
despise what
people
this
hate
country is
America.
based on. What's that?
But the top people hate America.
Yeah, but I mean, even their little
They just get
minions.
well, yeah. I was gonna say they just get the ignorant idiots to follow. And I honestly, part of me has empathy for the day to day person that really doesn't grasp what's going on. Um, I feel bad for you. It must suck to have like just an empty vessel in your skull. I don't know. Um, but they absolutely know that they are controlling the way that they do. Like you said, yeah, Whitmer
Um,
does that shit on purpose. Whitmer absolutely does that shit on purpose. She doesn't care if Michigan burns to the ground.
um, Paul Sperry, who is well known in the DC circles and very, very neutral journalist who's very smart, says developing 50 minutes ago, with Trump now president elect and knowing the dangerous consequences of incendiary anti Trump rhetoric, sources say that the Secret Service, Department of Justice, and the FCC may have no choice but to monitor CNN, MSNBC, and other broadcasts for violent hate speech and enforce licensing standards to protect POTUS. There's those standards and licensing again. Are they going to be stripped?
Well, let's take it from a perspective of the executive orders, for example. Was CNN, Fox for sure, calling, Arizona, or in a way, are they not complacent in election fraud themselves?
Correct.
With their completely obvious lies, obvious to us, should they not be disbanded as a company, assets frozen, money goes to the US Treasury, and essentially bankrupt the entire company? And I think that's where we're going to be at. And so with that, I mean, Fox, Disney, it's not just Fox News that's going
Correct.
away.
Right.
And I'm not saying Disney is going to be completely abolished. I think that it'll change. I mean, the people spoke. We don't want woke.
Right.
That end of the story. That we don't want those policies.
Totally.
I think Disney is going to remain, but they're going to have to shift their. They're going to have to shift their paradigm.
Will they? Will they, though?
I don't see how they couldn't. I mean, overall, you are even their wokeness of having. I can't really like pinpoint something in particular, but even some of their wokeness, where they feel it's progressive, but it's actually against the nuclear family. Technically, that's a crime against humanity.
Right.
To convey and perpetrate like that as happy going forward in life, that's a crime against humanity to convince people down the wrong path.
Guess
You don't have to do genocide yourself anymore. It's not like lining people up and putting them in work camps. It's convincing
Right.
them the wrong thing to do.
Right. Do you know how much cash they had on hand? She had a billion. She had $1 billion.
No.
She had $1 billion.
I know.
He had
Yeah.
388 million.
Well, she got last minute dumps from Google. Google sent an obscene amount to her. You had Bill Gates throwing money, and people, and that's one of the best things is they're like, she raised $1 billion. Everybody on P. Diddy's list donated to her.
Jeez.
You want to tax the rich and the 1%? Okay, they don't want accountability. They're happy where they're at, so they pay the money to get that.
Yes.
I'll never understand how fundraising equates to wins, though, to an extent. There's only so many commercials that you can put out. I understand the the different rallies and stuff like that, but did she really spend $1 billion, or was that because
No.
she paid people like, hey, Beyonce, here's $2 million to come show up for 3 minutes?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
also have to hold that many people in an arena for Beyonce. And was it not true? Were they not paying people to be in arenas too?
Yeah, they were busing people. Yeah.
Cost money.
Yep. That was actually proven by an actual like transportation company saying that they turned down the job they were asked
Right.
to go to and from like 4 or 5 buses. So
Right. I want to find real quick. I had it. See if I got rid of it or not. I probably got rid of it because
I just
don't
fogged
know.
up my own glasses.
What's that?
That's cool. Nothing. I fogged up my own glasses with my coffee. Yeah, which I don't know who that guy is, and I
Neither do
know
I.
that they have had some Republicans
seems a little more
on
conservative.
their. Yeah, well, they've had Republicans on their board, but that right there is what's called self accountability. Taking a look in the mirror, what did we do wrong? And one of the best things, I don't know where I got it from, at some podcast at some point, but somebody said something that said Trump is not, or the policies are not a result of Trump. Trump is the result of the policies.
Right.
No kidding. You can't call us a bunch of Nazis and garbage and try to assassinate the man and think that, oh, yeah, let's vote for those people. The people that, once again, are telling you that your eyes are lying to you as you go to the grocery store and you're struggling to pay your bills. You can't keep up that rhetoric. You guys, she said it herself. Well, Trump's been running for office for almost 10 years. 10 years of Trump man bad. And no policies. You had 4 years to show how your policies could actually affect people. And you didn't purposely, but you didn't. I think, DC Drano put out something that alluded to it had to be this way. And it did. It did have to be this way because people had to be shown how bad it was. And like many have said today, if he had won in 2020, which we know that he won and that there's election fraud and all that other stuff, but if he had prospectively won and been in that White House for the last 4 years, we didn't have the House. We didn't have the Senate at 2020. We didn't get the House until 2022.
Right.
We wouldn't have been able to do anything. It would have been another 4 years of Russia, Russia, Russia. What can we charge Trump on? What can we impeach him on? Trump said this and all these other things that kept him from doing the things publicly that no wonder why the dude signed so many executive orders and they call him a dictator. His hands were tied.
Yep.
And now we have total freedom right now. I don't think people understand that. And when I say that, we have the House, we have the Senate, we have the Supreme Court. And you guys know that I hate partisan Supreme Court, but 3 of those are Trump appointees.
Real quick, people are saying about like we have a lot of cleanup to do, and
Of course we do.
well, but I want to bring something up. This is where it falls upon us, and I told this to somebody this morning already. We had one of our kind of distant friends run for city commissioner in town over next to us, right? And I said to somebody this morning at the office, I said, here's what it's time for America to do. And by the way, I know all of you have somebody out there that is like this, and it directly impacts all of you. I have a tremendous amount of empathy for people in general. As a doctor, you have to. As a practitioner, you have to, right? And just as a person, I have empathy. Like, I don't want to see people hurt. Like I don't even want to see the freaking blue-haired whatever hurt. Like, I don't want to see people in pain because I know they're dealing with shit. I know they don't know what to do with it. But there's also a point where I'm like, okay, I have empathy for you. I really feel bad that you have a mental health issue, but that's not acceptable. Like what you're doing is not acceptable. Like some of these woke people are not acceptable. And every single person watching this right now knows somebody, whether it's a direct person in their family or it's somebody they're connected to or a society or a neighbor, doesn't matter. You don't have to run for anything, and obviously there's only so many positions out there. So right, if you feel the calling to go run for something, go for it. That's fantastic. Everyone supports you, and I think that's awesome. But this idea of government has work to do is the wrong idea. Yeah. And here's my biggest thing. I'm not asking you to go run for a city council. I'm not even asking you to do something in your school. I'm asking you to be a freaking neighbor at this point. And what I mean by that is one of the biggest problems we have and what's changed the most in the last 20 years is the deterioration and degeneracy of our society in general. Why are these people getting away with programming and controlling the young minds and turning them into mush and woke little kids? Because we stepped down. We stopped being parents. Yeah. We stopped being grandparents. We stopped being all of this, right? And the thing that you can do is, you know somebody out there who maybe has some purple hair, maybe has a couple pronouns, maybe they aren't working, maybe they're sitting at home waiting for mom and dad to do whatever. Like, you know what it's time for us to do? We have rules in this country, right? If I ever pulled off any of the BS that some of these people and young people are doing and acting, like even just the abortion stuff, right? Like, I don't care if you have a liberal, social, whatever. Like, I don't care if you live in California and you are all about abortion in California. Like, okay, that's California. But as a human, as an American, it is our job to start educating and teaching and mentoring people again. Why does the 20-year-old, the 16-year-old, the 10-year-old, the 25, why do they think that it's okay to go out and live the life they're living? Why do they think it's okay?
No repercussions.
With zero repercussions. That is not on their parents. That's not just on their parents. I'm not saying we should raise a socialist society where we take care of everybody's children. We live in communities, everybody. Why are you not speaking up? And don't give me this BS. They're like, well, that's their kids and I don't feel right speaking up. Guess what? I don't know about you, but when someone was over to our house, my parents became in charge of that kid.
Yeah, like, me and my friends have a mutual agreement that, if you have to set my kid straight for whatever reason, you
like, I didn't go to somebody else's house and do whatever I wanted to. I did what their rules were in that house.
Yep.
We've dropped the ball on being a society.
Yeah. And, you said it starts with being a neighbor, but honestly, in order to make the change, you have to be the change. And I think it's something as simple as, and Brave TV viewers are great at this, but start with yourself. You stop buying that garbage in the grocery store, it eventually is going to phase its way off of the shelf.
100%.
It's not going to be there anymore, and in turn that's going to help your neighbors. I know when my friends' kids come over, 4 of them, my snacks are a bit different than their snacks at their house. And I'm like, and I tell their mom, I'm like, yeah, I replaced it with this because that one just has a ton of sugar and these add like food dyes and stuff like that. And kids still love the snacks. They still eat them. And then they ask their mom to buy them, and it's a ripple effect.
Right.
It starts with you. Be the change that you want to see. And you said, don't rely on the government, and the government has all this work to do. JFK said it, don't ask what the government can do for you, ask what you can do for the government. How can we make it easier that they don't get pushed back on when they're trying to stop lobbying? This whole fluoride thing has gone crazy because so many people believe in the lie of fluoride's good for you. Let me back up for a second with the fluoride thing, because have you ever heard of nursery water?
Heard of it, yeah.
Okay, so it's a gallon of water that every grocery store sells that's distilled water with added fluoride for your babies to make formula. Tell me why, even if it's good for teeth, a baby that doesn't have teeth needs fluoridated water. That makes zero sense. Ask those questions.
Yep.
We do have a lot of work to do. I'm going to take this, though, and still celebrate today. Do we have to have After Dark today?
We have one guest who wants to come on and say something.
Hello.
Hi, my friends.
On eCam, I don't see her pop up, so I was like, what are you talking about?
What's up?
Hi. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Or this afternoon now?
Tired, but we will survive.
Yeah, yep. I had 5 hours of sleep. I didn't go to bed till like 3.
Oof.
Yeah, it was quite the ride last night. I know I had to kind of end it, but I think they called Pennsylvania right after we left. So, I was like, I texted you, I think, at 1:30.
Yeah. They called Georgia and then Pennsylvania, and I'm in the moderator group. Wake the fuck up! Where are you guys?
I didn't realize that you were still up. So, but I mean, what a day for our country. I mean, the biggest thing that resonates with me, that I'm seeing with most people around me, is the element of hope. And I think with anyone that experiences trauma or experiences anything where they're down in the trenches, or they're really going through a rough time, like we've done in the last 4 years, you kind of start to lose hope that our country is not going to be able to recover. And I know that I've talked about this a little bit in the past with this Pluto going into Aquarius and how significant this is. But when you have that, the element of death and rebirth kind of happens for our communities. And exactly what you were just saying, the focus on our communities is going to be vital to our, to how we survive. But one of the biggest joys for me this morning was calling Samantha and hearing the element of, it makes me almost want to cry, because her and her boyfriend, and the amount of optimism in these young kids' voices, and hearing how excited they are for their futures, and the amount of optimism. And that's kind of what you get when you have something like this Pluto going to Aquarius. The optimism that people have now, that they're going to be able to do something with their lives, and that is really what I think we need to focus on with this. And it's what you do with this hope. It's what you do with this optimism. Okay, we're riding high right now. What do you want to do? What do people want to do with this? And it is vital that we continue to reach out to our communities. And all these people that are fussing and fighting on social media, it's not going to get us anywhere. It's going to continue to divide us. And that's what we've seen over the last 4 years. So this is an element of us all coming together, and the power that we have when we say, you know what, we're not going to have this happen to us anymore. So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I woke Bradley up this morning and I was like, guess what? Trump won the election last night. And he popped out of bed and he's like, really?
Leah did too. But isn't it crazy that this is all being handed down to people that I would never have guessed going through this, and then my daughter being like, oh my God, he won, and then her and even Bradley having, and it's not a programming thing, it's more of a I have not ever taught my daughter to like or dislike somebody. She points it out.
Yeah, Bradley called Biden creepy despite knowing absolutely nothing about him. But not only that, they see your intentions. We don't tell them about human trafficking. and we don't go into detail about big pharma and those type of things. But they know and they see the intentions when we're saying, no, we don't take that bubblegum Advil on the shelf. We're going to give you this instead. And the hope that we got from the election is, hey, I'm not going to have as much regulation and I'm going to be able to help my kid with homeopathic remedies. I'm going to be able to make better choices for my kid's future and as far as what they're learning. They see the intentions that we have with keeping them safe. I told you guys I had to have a hard conversation with my son about stranger danger again. I didn't go into trafficking and stuff, but I said some people aren't nice to children. And for
Yeah.
once last night, I was crying last night because I said, for once I have this weight of like everything's going to be okay. We're moving in the right direction. I don't have to worry as much for my kids' future. And they feel that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a huge one. Absolutely
Right.
huge.
Well, the amount of optimism, and I've talked about this before when I've come on and I've kind of revisited the whole last time this Pluto was in Aquarius, and it was in 1777 when 1776 1777 when this happened. So all the years after that was us rebuilding our country and this rebirth that we're seeing. So I that is why I am so excited about to see where this all goes with everything. But for my daughter to say, I can now afford a house, I mean, like they're thinking more in the future. But the biggest thing that I said, on our mod group was, does anybody else feel like we skipped timelines? We changed timelines here. It's almost like we woke up in a different reality, and it's like this new. We switched tracks. Does anybody else feel that?
Well, we talk about the continuation of government and how he said that he made it so we could put a pause on things. And I don't think we really understood that it was almost exactly the timeline. As Lizzie is saying, Back to the Future, but we were able to get through those 4 years with minimal damage, to show the repercussions of actions and get people to go down the more narrow path, and into the awakening. But and I'll throw this out there. Do you guys see the Q drops that I dropped?
Mm-hmm. I didn't
literally.
study them, but I looked at them briefly.
November 5th, 2020, it says something about the election, and then November 6th, it says like live in glory this day. But that's not verbatim, but isn't that weird? It future proves past, I guess.
Well, they just this was actually the one of the Anons put up the elections across the all the popular votes, and the fact that 2020 was so outrageous, and it says future proves past. So literally, this election showed, because obviously 2016 was very similar to votes in 2024, and 2020 is so blatant now that Supreme Court is going to have to take on 2020. They have there's no choice. Like, it's so out of control in 2020 that it's going to have to be looked at, and then there's going to be something made, because there might be legal issues that come from that. They're going to have to be put in stone.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah, it is craziness. I'm just so excited. I mean, I can't get over that this actually happened, and that we also have the Senate and the House. And
the House, I guess, is not fully done, but it's close.
Yeah.
But yeah, Senate, House.
That slight hint.
What's that?
That slight hint of disappointment last night when we thought we were going to go to sleep and them steal the election again just made the win all that better. Where we're like, no fucking way. Like, I can't believe they just called it. Because we were, let's be honest, we were all sitting there with the knives in our stomach waiting for them to twist it. And to have it just removed and be like, nope, it's okay. It's a good fucking feeling.
Is Michigan called yet?
Fuck no.
Nope.
What a disaster.
But I will say this. one of the most important things, like I don't even care what Michigan gets called for. The most important thing of Michigan, they won't call it. I said this at the beginning of the show. They won't call it because Whitmer actually passed a bill a few months ago that in Michigan you cannot contest an election based off of allegations of fraud. You can't even ask for a recount, which is unconstitutional. But like I said, government overreach can be a bitch because they thought that it would be in Kamala's favor. But we have a Senate seat up for grabs in Michigan, and it's neck and neck. I'm talking like 4,000 votes, if that. It just keeps going back and forth. It's within like 0.1%. But we're at 98% reported. So
Getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there.
yeah, I only care about that Senate seat. So
Yeah. I just wanted to come on and say hi to everybody because I know we kind of ended last night with not knowing what was going to happen, but yeah, it's a pretty exciting time. So I'm very, very optimistic. And again, hearing our kids and knowing that we have hope for the future and that we're going to be rebuilding a new America is going to be fantastic.
yep.
Absolutely.
So you're going to be really busy, Dad. You know that, right? You're going to be very, very busy with the amount of people that are going to be coming in our office, with the amount of people that are going to want information about these alternative. It's just going to revolutionize and change a lot of people's lives, especially like if he comes through with the no tax on tips. I mean, that just even that one thing, it's like, imagine the restaurant business.
I will say this, and I'm not trying to play the blame game or anything today. There's enough of that out there where they're blaming, Black, Hispanics, or whatever for them losing the vote. But I will say this. I looked at the statistics of numbers coming through, and majorly 55 and over, and sometimes in some states 65 and over, were the biggest demographic for Kamala Harris. I'm throwing that out there right now because while so many people say, oh, these young people, they're easily influenced, you have an entire generation, the boomer generation, the older Gen X, whatever, that are voting for abortion, voting for child sterilization, voting to suppress our kids. Now it's our kids. It's not even their kids. Our kids' futures. And they have to open their eyes. So enough of this millennial Gen Z shit. I hate to play that blame game. Those are the biggest ones that need to wake up because they're the biggest consumers of mainstream media still.
Right.
Makes sense.
As our population continues to age, I mean, that's going to continue to go away.
Well, I think a lot of it will go away anyway because once you remove the corruption, we remove these mainstream medias or make them more honest at least. Same with the medications, same with any of it. Once we remove that type of stuff, they have no choice but to then listen to truth. So
yeah.
Totally. Well, Dr. Tina, have a good day. Thanks for jumping on. We're gonna wrap.
Great day, everybody. I think it's only gonna keep getting better. Let's take our win and let's get back to work.
Appreciate you. Tell Dr. John we said hello.
I will. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Any last thoughts before we go? Because I'm gonna try to shut it down a little bit because I got to get ready for also this afternoon and tonight.
Fine. If I can take a nap today before after dark, I am going to take a nap. I'm exhausted in the best way, though. Like it's one 100%. Of those like I was just so my vibes were so high last night that I had a hard time falling asleep.
Shocking, Nicolette.
Everybody keeps asking about the text that I got last night, and I can't say much. But basically, a friend who's in the military was told to get packed up and get ready to go for any means necessary.
Well, and we'll say this. We're still 2 months until supposed transition. So yes,
Yeah,
we can
I don't even know if that was based off the election.
Right.
That could
We can
have been,
celebrate, but there's still things that can go down. We're not trying to like be downers, but there's still things that we have to be cautious of and really watch.
Yeah, he flat out said in the text he couldn't publicly disclose it. So hopefully I didn't say too much, but like I said, I don't even know if that was about the election. It could have been about another country looking to invade. It could have been about some nuclear scare, whatever. Just I don't know. We'll see. Come what 6 p.m. is her concession speech.
6 p.m. everybody. I'm not watching. I'll see what happens afterwards, and we'll go from there.
Mala was too hungover to come out in the morning.
Go rest up, everybody. We'll see a lot of you after dark. We'll cut there, and we'll just say, hey, love, serve, and help. It's gonna be a crazy couple months, but then we get to rebuild everything. So for Nicolette, it's Dr. Dean. It's Brave TV. Have a good day, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Health, freedom, knowledge. This is Brave TV.
We actually have to turn this into Americans becoming brave and taking back what rightfully ours. And you can't be healthy if you're given false information. You can't be free if you're given false information. So I think that, the foundation